A regular village board meeting of the Village of Tinley Park. If you'd all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Regular Village Board meeting, November 1st, 2016, on roll call. Trustee Maher.
Here.
Trustee Grady.
Here.
Trustee Penito.
Here.
Trustee Vandenberg.
Here.
Trustee Yunker.
Here.
Trustee Suggs.
Here.
Mayor Seaman.
Here, we have a quorum. This next first item, I'd like to ask for a motion to concur with the approval of the agenda. I have such a motion.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Approval of the minutes of the regular village board meeting dated October 18th, 2016. May I have such a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 3, I'd look for a motion to present the consent agenda items.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk.
Item 3, consent agenda. A, proclaiming November 26, 2016 as Small Business Saturday in the Village of Tinley Park. And B, payment of outstanding bills in the amount of $1,221,948.93 as listed on the vendor board approval reports dated October 21st and October 26, 2016.
Anybody have any comments on the consent agenda? The Small Business Saturday is an annual event that has been promoted for the last several years and once again encouraging the use of the small businesses here in Tinley Park and across the country. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call on item 3, Trustee Maher.
Yay.
Trustee Grady.
Yay.
Trustee Penito.
Yes.
Trustee Vandenberg.
Yes.
Trustee Yunker.
Yay.
Trustee Suggs.
Yes.
Item number 4, Trustee Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd ask the board to consider waiving first reading and consider resolution number 2016R031, recognizing Chief Kenneth C. Dunn as Fire Chief Emeritus by the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association and as a Chief Emeritus of the Tinley Park Fire Department.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank
Thank you,
you. We have a few members of the department here this evening, and I would ask if the clerk would be kind enough to read the resolution.
Resolution 2016-R-031, a resolution recognizing Chief Kenneth C. Dunn as Fire Chief Emeritus by the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association and as Chief Emeritus of the Village of Tinley Park Fire Department. Whereas Chief Kenneth C. Dunn worked as the Village Fire Department since 1972 until being named Fire Chief in 1996. Chief Dunn was the Tinley Park Fire Department's chief for 20 years before retiring in June of 2016. And whereas Chief Dunn was selected to receive the honorary title of Fire Chief Emeritus given by the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association, and whereas the award is based upon achievements in service to the fire service community, education, certifications, innovation, and accomplishments, involvement in professional fire service organizations during his term as fire chief, and whereas the establishment of Fire Chief Emeritus is an honorary title for retired fire chiefs who have meritorious service to their community and fire service profession. Fire Chief Emeritus is reserved for those retired chiefs who have had distinguished careers regardless if paid or volunteer, and whose significant contributions set them apart from their peers. And now therefore be it resolved by the present Board of Trustees of the Village of Tinley Park, Will and Cook Counties in Illinois, of a community of over 59,000 residents, herein represented, would be like to support the recognition of Chief Dunn as Chief Emeritus from the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association and of the Village of Tinley Park, and is also pleased to name him in that emeritus status with the Tinley Park Fire Department.
we have a good representation of our fire department here this evening with us, led by, of course, none other than Ken Dunn's son, Chris. And we appreciate the turnout this evening. Are there any comments from the board on this matter? Or anybody from the fire department that would like to come up? Chris, certainly.
On behalf of the chief, I would like to thank the board for the recognition that you give him for the honor that was given to him by the Illinois Fire Chiefs. Sorry he couldn't be here tonight, but thanks again.
Well, we wish him well. All in favor of this resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 5, consider appointments for the following commission vacancies for 2016-2017. I'd like to, this would be for the appointments of Civil Service Commissioner Deborah Studinsky and Senior Services Commissioner Gordon Collin. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. I believe you received information from both of these individuals earlier, and these have been recommended by the chairs of the commissions, and hopefully you've all had a chance to get familiar with them. I think that they both come well recommended. So at this point, roll call, Mr. Clerk?
We can do that, it doesn't require, but we can do that.
Okay.
Item 5 on roll call for appointments, trustee Maher.
Yay.
Trustee Grady.
Yay.
Trustee Penito.
Yes.
Trustee Vandenberg.
Yes.
Trustee Yunker.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 6, Trustee Vandenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I move to consider ordinance number 2016-0-059, granting a variation for a fence for certain property located at 6801 180th Court.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. The petitioner, Lisa Costley, is seeking approval for a 14-foot variation for a 6-foot tall privacy fence. This is to construct a fence in the same area location that they currently have a fence. It is falling apart, and they'd like to replace it. The Plan Commission held a workshop and a public hearing for this item. After the findings of fact were read, the vote came out to 4-1 in favor. There is I believe, a condition on our end in reference to the style of the fencing. The petitioner has agreed upon a PVC material fence fronting Oak Park Avenue, and then to the south of their property, which would be abutting to a commercial property, to have the same as the rest of the property owners going to the west as a wood fence. This is obviously first reading this evening.
Is the petitioner with us this evening?
Yes, I'm sorry. I have kids at home sick right now, so.
Oh.
Sorry, she couldn't make it. I'm her husband.
Okay, well, we'll take you. You're just.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Is there anything that I missed on the reading, sir?
No, I'd just like to get the fence back up if it's at all possible.
Okay. Well, as was mentioned, this is for first reading, and in 2 weeks, you'd be back again for the final, at which point you could get the permits and everything.
Yes, I understand.
We'll get it rolling for you. Okay, anybody have any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Item number 7, Trustee Yonker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to postpone this to the next meeting.
Do we have a
This item.
second?
So moved.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 8, consider ordinance 2016-061, amending Title 11, Chapter 112, Section 112.22 of the Tinley Park Municipal Code, addition of one Class AV1 liquor license. This would be for the Odyssey Sweet Spot Sports Bar at 19110 Oak Park Avenue. They currently have a liquor license. May I have a concurring motion, please?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, with that, I think the petitioner is here with us this evening. Mr. Halikias.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Just looking at it, see if we can add the gaming license tonight. We have expanded our menu as well. So we've added some more things to our menu for our bar itself. So we're looking to see if we can add that tonight on our agenda here.
Do you have the menu?
The menu's got here.
Okay, if you just
Yeah.
let the board take a look at it, I think that'd be helpful.
These items are going to be actually put in effect this week, regardless of what happens, but we are putting going forward. We're trying to expand our business over there, so we're trying to attract more of a customer base that can have dinner there and also enjoy other things as well.
As far as for planning and zoning, Paula, are there any outstanding issues with any type of temporary signage for the property that you know?
I'm not aware of at the moment. I know that there has been some issues, and I believe Walter has had to take down some of them.
So it's been, okay.
Right today, I can do that.
And also like maybe possibly consider looking into your entranceway to the facility. It seems to be, from an outsider's perspective, to be a private area because it's basically fenced off, and there's a chain link fence that
Right.
closes the parking lot off. You know, it might be something to consider if you know, if this is something that you're trying to, you know, add business to your current one. You should probably invest a little bit in the aesthetics of it to make it
Right.
more welcoming.
That's something that we're probably looking at doing, you know, down the line here. We're also looking at, hopefully in 2017 to approach you guys about remodeling the facility itself and expanding it out a little bit too. Adding a full-fledged kitchen and a whole bar, actually making it a grill, like a restaurant type thing.
That'd be fabulous.
That's what we're looking to do out in the corner there, yeah.
Great.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Motion carries. Item number 9. Receive comments? Not yet. Well, you can comment at the end of the meeting.
Which is short.
This is first reading, so the second reading, you would have the opportunity to comment about a specific item. Item number 9, receive comments from board and staff. Anybody on the board have any comments?
I just want to say for the last petitioner, I like your business. I like it the way it is. I go there to hit golf balls. Nothing against you or your business. It's great that you've been here so long. It's just the whole gambling thing, it kind of spreads. I'd like to have controls over it. It's something that, you know, I don't know how great it is for our community, and that's why. Nothing against your business.
Anybody else have any questions? I would just like to comment, I attended the Boo Bash over the weekend, and I want to compliment staff for doing a good job of being out there. I know it was a little cooler day Sunday than it was Saturday, but it sure had a good turnout. There was just a bunch of people out there, so that's once again another great opportunity to showcase our downtown to our citizens. Item number 10, comments from the public. Yes,
Hi.
sir.
Hi, I just wanted to ask Clerk Ray, how is early voting going so far in Village Hall?
Excuse me, try that a little slower.
Sorry, it's a little fast. How is early voting going so far since Tinley Park's
Nice
hosting
that
it right
you
now?
asked.
That's one reason why I want to
Chill
ask.
in the audience.
It's going extremely well. We're well into I think the 6,000 range. And the first day was 1,560. To give you some comparisons, because you asked,
Yes, please
I'm
do.
going to be more excited about reporting. We used to do it for Will County, and then Will County moved their early voting station outside of Tinley Park. When we did it for Will County, we were getting totals like 8, 12, and that was it.
So not like 8,000 or just
No,
8 people?
no, I'm afraid I was a little more clear than I should have been. It doesn't sound too great. What we have happening here also is, while we can't prove this yet, and for all of us here, that site is for all of Cook County. People can live in Evanston and vote here. And that happens, particularly if they work here, by the way. So it is a Cook County-wide. We were very sensitive to the whole issue of security, external and internal. I want to thank our police department and special thanks to others. Physical protection was put up around that site, which you will hardly notice unless you don't regularly recognize that potted plants of the size of this board are now sitting, so cars cannot come up that driveway. These things were all done, and the staff from the county was very appreciative. There were other things that were done to make sure that at this site, we felt as comfortable as you can be, that it's being run right. So, large volumes of turnout. We might indeed approach a larger turnout. In fact, we will approach a larger turnout at that one site than we had in the last municipal election for all of the town. And it just couldn't be better. And by the way, the people there are very, very nice. And our citizens that have been coming in, many, and some of you have been there because I've seen you, many have stopped to chat afterwards in a way that you normally don't see at a polling place. It has been a warm experience all the way around. I can't have enough praise for the county clerk of Cook and for the staff of first my office, not me, but our staff, and for our village staff. They've been welcomed. I would encourage you, if you haven't voted and have time, feel free to go in and vote and chat with them. It's something you just simply don't normally see in polling locations in the county of Cook, to be honest with you. It's just wonderful.
And so would you say that we're receiving enough voters and coming to the point that come in the future that the county won't take away that early voting site?
I would say yes.
Okay, cool.
I would say yes, and for our Will County residents that are here to be in full expression here, we've had a number come in to vote, and of course they can't. And we had asked Will County, and they had not responded. But we have a mechanism in the village, and Will County might have this down. And Laura, what do we call it? Our engineering and site folks that we asked them to do a study on this.
Oh, the GIS.
Yes. We asked GIS to do a study on the primary locations in Will County and voting at the location they've given them in I think the Frankfurt Village Township building, and coming to the Village Hall. And to the credit of Will County, the average time from Will County to here can be as great as 14 minutes, averaging at about 9. And so I'm going to send that to the Will County clerk. She didn't ask for it, but she's going to get it, and it should make her feel happy. But also encourage her to use our staff that's there for this purpose to see if we can't find a way to find a place closer for our Will County residents.
Okay, and I guess just my last question would be if there's not been any obstruction by that, and by that I mean there's not been any difficulties with staff moving around, with people coming to early vote. Because I know, like for example, Orland Park, they used to have it in their village hall, but eventually they ended up moving it to the Orland Township building. And I was just curious about that, just in general.
Let me ask the manager. I have heard of none, but
Oh,
he manages the place.
Okay.
I haven't heard of
Oh, that's cool. I was just curious. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Pat. That was, it's been a I stopped in there Saturday, and I have to concur, the people that were there were more than pleasant and very complimentary to the village staff that supported them. So thanks to everybody that helps make democracy happen.
Oh, yeah,
Michael.
definitely. All for that. Kudos to you, Clerk Ray, and everyone else, and getting that here, and staying on the election theme. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Clerk Ray, Laura, marketing, for getting all of the meetings on the Tinley Park website calendar. Way to go, guys. There was a lot of meetings today. I was impressed. Sadly, I was at work, so I couldn't go to them, but I wanted to make sure I was here to thank you guys in person. Kind of now staying on the election theme. You know, as much as you may have heard about the April 4, 2017 election, there is an election 1 week from today. And one of the things that I and some people around town have noticed is the vast amount of signs that are in, shall we say, questionable areas. So I'm going to ask this to the great counselor, Connolly. Could you clarify for us where and where you cannot have political signs as a village thing, and I guess maybe if your knowledge extends to the county rules on that?
Not without having the ordinance right in front of me. Every ordinance is different. Correct me if perhaps some of them know up here better than I, but
Oh, yeah,
I would
Clerk Ray,
imagine
if you may know.
I would imagine there's a sign ordinance that prohibits them in the public right of way.
That's,
Yeah,
and public properties.
Yeah.
We've
I would
taken
imagine
them down
there's
here.
Any public property, so like even like the parkways?
Correct.
Yes.
So anything in a parkway or anything like alongside the road of, now obviously some are under county jurisdiction, so obviously that would be outside. Which would then bring me to my third question. Is it Public Works responsibility? I guess I'll go to you, Brian. Is it Public Works responsibility to take them down when they're in that public area? Or is it just citizens can just go yank them out because, you know, to,
If it's in village property, we've taken them out there, right, Kevin?
Yeah, it's actually all departments that we see, we try to get them out.
oh, so it's like a community, like a collective
We
effort.
have two. The ones here we have.
Police department has.
Oh, the police department
Yeah.
runs through, okay. So it's like,
Yeah, they've picked them out of there.
oh,
The zoning administrator also, because it's under sign ordinance, he administers the zoning.
okay, wow. So there's like a lot of overlapping thing on this. Okay, but that's cool. So that we all know parkways, don't do it. Alongside the roads, don't do it. Okay, for the record.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Michael. Thank you. Any other public comment to be had? Mr. Stuckley?
This is for the chief. I was on tinleypark.org website. I work for a security company, so as a command center operator for a while, I switch shifts, so I just do it. I fill in for the guy when he's taking his lunch. So it says on Tinley website, is it 5 days a week, 8 to 3 a.m., 3 days, and 8 to 1 a.m., 2 days? Am I correct?
What are you talking about?
The command center operated,
For the police department?
civilian,
Tell it.
to watch the cameras, command center.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. That's Pat Carr's bailiwick.
Okay.
It's over in,
Okay,
Community Center.
So 8 to 3, is it a set day, or do they vary, and 8 to 1?
Yeah, it varies on personnel.
Okay, what are some of their duties?
Their duties are to monitor the cameras, if they see something or to call something in.
Okay, do they log it?
Do they log it?
Yeah.
It's logged through the CAD when they let somebody know and the call is dispatched.
Okay, and then obviously when they take a break or their lunch or whatever they call it, dinner, they get relieved by somebody else?
Well, they're not relieved by anybody else.
Oh, okay. So on the morning of when the fountain got tore down, was anybody in the command center then?
Well, we have dispatchers in there. There was an operator in there that took a break.
Okay, so then nobody was monitoring the cameras when it happened?
They were monitoring cameras where they see people congregating around the fountain, but nobody was doing anything at that time.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
How you doing? I just have a question for Clerk Ray. In September, you listed the names of people that requested FOIAs, and now it seems like their names have been taken down. Is there a reason why?
Now, help me with that. I'll answer the question, but help me. I listed the people that what?
No, I mean, there was names listed for people who requested FOIAs, and now you can't find them anywhere.
Yeah. The reporting of FOIAs by individual name.
By individuals,
versus,
whoever requested them.
The requesters.
No, that's what I'm confused at. We don't do that.
Well, that's the question as to why.
If you were here for a committee of the whole, it was discussed then, and that's when you probably saw it, but it's not put out on a regular basis.
Okay.
Okay,
Trustee
thanks.
Suggs, I have a question regarding the exchange students that arrived on October 1st. You mentioned on Facebook that the students and host families pay for their expenses. Is that true?
That's what I was told. Clerk Ray, I don't know if you can address this, but I'm just going off information when I had asked. So there's been some question about it. Can you repeat the question for Clerk Ray, please?
Yeah. The question was, who pays for the expense of the exchange students from Germany?
For whatever, for the parties, pizza parties, whatever, transportation.
Okay, I can tell you that, let me ask the mayor, the pizza party that the village hosted for them, did the village pay that, or did?
I said I'd pay for it, actually. I didn't get the bill yet, but I said I'd pay for it.
And I hosted a luncheon for them downtown. I got the bill, that's why I'm out in front of the building now selling pencils. But usually what you're gonna see is, if a government, let's say the high school district, I don't wanna put words in their mouth, will oftentimes pick up the tab for that. The transportation, the village did, when we picked them up at the airport and brought them back to Tinley Park. I think, was there a bus the night of the pizza party? Or did the parents bring them over?
The bus was from, I believe, the city commission budget, which was appropriate for that.
Well, yeah, but that's public money, I think that's the question.
Yeah, that was, that's in the council's asked a few times that come here. As far as the village, I think they're all, drove in by their host families, as far as, I didn't see any bus that was here.
That's usually the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we invited actually the parents this time. That has not always been the past practice, but it seemed appropriate to have the parents there as well.
Okay, thank you.
It was a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Quick question. And this goes to Trustee Grady. Who are on the final list of candidates for the chief's position? Are we able to know that?
That hasn't been determined yet.
That hasn't been determined yet? How much longer do you plan on seeing it take?
I'm not sure where we're at in at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I actually corresponded with the consultant today. We're expecting a report in the next week or so. But those candidates' names, they're confidential.
And they're confidential, why? Because we used a consultant?
No, because they applied for a job with the expectation of confidentiality. It has
Okay.
nothing to do with us.
Well, I'm just making sure because it's kind of I have some here on the back of my neck stand up telling me that some of the people that put down for that position aren't qualified to be there. Because I read the I-Chiefs, I read the summary of, the qualifications, and the qualifications, I don't know, they kind of, they worry me a little. That there's some altered thing going on in this town and you're trying to privatize the fire department. I hope that's not true, but that's the way it looks right now. Now, other question is this, and this is gonna go towards whether it be the mayor or whoever else was involved in bringing the contractor to town. You guys know what I'm talking about, the EMS contractor. And I've been called a bit disgruntled employee, which is bogus, because I'm not. All I am is concerned about how everybody gets taken care of, and not only that, how the medics are getting paid, which they're not getting paid properly. And second all, when you bring a contractor into town to take care of all of us, what I don't understand is this. When they're fronting out campaign money, we're paying for the service is then being paid, or the village is paying then to the service that we're paying for, and then on top of it, Mayor, we know that the contractor's giving you campaign money. So tell me how it benefits us when it's I've never heard once in an article in the Tribune, in the Southtown anywhere, that the reason why this company was brought to town was for we were gonna get elite service. That I've never heard come out of anybody's mouth. And on top of it, we have Mr. Pat Carr right here, is on the village website calls him, well, it states he's the EMS coordinator. Now, I thought you ran day-to-day operations, if I was not mistaken. Am I wrong on that?
I'm the EMS administrator of the contract.
Do you have any EMS experience?
Yes, I do.
With what?
I was schooled by Trace Ambulance and Loyola in EMS, MTV.
Did you get the state cert?
No.
So,
I'm not a practicing EMT. I don't have to be.
So you don't have experience then, is what I'm saying. Well, going through trace and going halfway through the course doesn't cut it to me. Now, what also doesn't make any sense is I want to know how many times the contract was not fully staffed. Do you have that number? Do you know that? No? Okay. How about, do we know for sure, are the medics forced at all? Are they forced to work after 48 hours? Are they forced to work more than 48 hours because the contract's not fully staffed? Have they ever been worked more than 48 hours in a row?
Yes.
Okay, that's concerning, big time. If you had experience, you would know. Now, 200% turnover. How many people since that contract started, that the paramedics that were on that job, how many of them right now currently are still at that job, still on that contract? 5. Why? Because everybody left because either they were forced out or they can't afford to work here. $11 an hour. And you know, in Forbes magazine, do you know that you have McDonald's gonna get paid $10 an hour? You got medics in this town currently right now taking care of everyone making 11. That's shameful. $75,991 is the average income of every household in this town. You got people making $11 an hour. Their full year salary doesn't even cover half. How can they afford to live here? It's disrespectful.
We thank you for your comments. You're at your 4
Am I at
minutes.
my 4 minutes?
Yes, sir. But,
All right.
but feel free if you have any more comments to share it with those people that are
Well, you know what, Mayor?
involved.
I
because-
have shared it time and time again. You guys don't listen. You don't want to.
Okay.
Because if you really did care about taking care of everybody here, we wouldn't have this issue. I've never went after the medics. I was one here. But you guys slammed me and embarrassed me in front of all my family and friends. And trust me, come 4/4/17, they're all going to speak because the town is tired of it.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anybody else like to speak? Seeing as there
I
are
have
none?
a follow-up to one of the questions earlier about political signs, Mr. Paz.
Oh, thank you, yes.
Our staff has kindly given this to me. So it's 32 square feet maximum sign coverage, 16 square feet each side, not erected earlier than 45 days before an election, and then obviously not in the right-of-way, and then taken down 7 days after the election.
Thank you, Trustee Vandenberg and the staff that got back so quickly on this. I mean, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion to adjourn. Oh, well, all right. Step right up.
Is there like a Cubs game on or something?
They're winning 7-0.
He's got somewhere to go or something?
That's the rumor.
Hey, what's the score?
7-0.
7-1
Still
now.
7-1.
7-1.
Cubs.
Get my rally
Well, that's
cap on.
Hey, just regarding the election, I'm just wondering, how can residents not take it as an insult to injury that both your new selected running mates for trustee positions, Moylan and Fracaro, you know, were planning commissioners or former planning commissioners, voted for text amendments that left the village open for the lawsuit. And not only did Jeff Fracaro vote for the text amendments that compromised the village, but he resigned as planning commissioner as soon as the heat was on, and residents were aware of the shenanigans that were being pulled to sneak the project in, claiming he didn't have the time to commit. He hasn't been to any meetings that dealt with the repercussions of the project he helped enable, but now he's the man back on the scene that you're promoting on your slate as a candidate for trustee. You know, what gives with that? Plus, one more comment. I didn't get an invitation to your private event at Gatto's, but could you hook me up with Clerk Ray's Christmas party at Medieval Times in Schaumburg? Is this event done in conjunction with Clerk Ray's holding the office of Knights Templar International Grand Master, along with former Mayor Zabraki and Trustee Suggs as members in this mysterious secret society? I mean, refer to the Tribune on, you know, articles referring to that. You're still International Grand Master?
Yes,
You are? Okay. Wow. It's fabulous. And it's medieval times is where you're having the office party that's paid for by the village?
I've been
Is
having-
that, I mean, typically
Excuse me.
Christmas parties are paid for by the village,
Wait.
retirement parties.
Can I respond?
Oh, sorry.
I've been pleased to have Christmas parties every single year for my staff since I've been clerk. 100% of that is paid by me personally. Not 1 cent is paid by anyone else. Now, your next question.
No, there's much that is paid for by the village, though. How about trips to the sister cities? Let's say Mayor Zabraki going for, you know, funeral.
Get your facts right before you start
Never.
spewing stuff.
Find it.
No, I'm just asking.
No,
I'm just
no,
asking. That's paid for by who?
The individuals. That's been one of the standards of the Sister City program.
But there is, you know, various, expenses that are paid by the village, right? But
Well,
not
the
travel, just buses, not travel, not flights or going to Germany by public
Absolutely.
officials. That's paid for by,
The individuals.
really?
Yep.
That's interesting. But let's say this party, though, that's something that's, is there any correlation, though, to the Knights Templars in medieval times? It kind
No.
of seems like
No.
a close thing. You know, is there going to be anything of, I mean, that just intrigues me.
I would
And you
love-
have an 8-year, I mean, you're holding office for 8 years on that?
That's right.
That's spectacular. Till 2017, I mean, that's
2000.
International Grandmaster Knights Templar.
Yes, but they haven't got horses big enough for me there.
No, I mean, that's fabulous. So are you gonna be wearing the attire for medieval times?
Well, I'm going out there as village clerk, and I'm wearing that
Because
attire now.
the sword, there's a sword involved in this,
There
right?
is- there
Pretty
is,
spectacular
it's a
looking sword,
magnificent weapon.
cape. Because, I mean, I'm hoping sometime you wear that to a village board meeting, and we'll get a throne.
You really don't want it.
No, I mean, it's pretty fabulous. I mean, it
Well,
would be an honor for us to
I would be happy to
witness.
Share with you those activities if you care to come by.
No,
and-
because it's mysterious and very intriguing, so I actually
It's actually
would.
not mysterious. It's the United Nations chartered in an organization, and I appoint 19 different delegates to the UN across the world. What else do you want to know?
No, I mean, if you could clue me in on this, I would love to have a,
Please come by. Yesterday, a wonderful thing happened. The 500th anniversary of the Reformation occurred in Lund, Sweden. At that event, the Pope and the head of the Lutheran Church of the world concelebrated for the first time since the Reformation. I'm pleased to say, when you saw that bishop, the president of the World Lutheran Federation, Bishop Yonan, with His Holiness, you saw the grand chaplain of my order and my good friends.
but you made one comment about what's the thing with the Knights Templar that you made a joke about that was buried underneath the train station? What was that?
Oh, well, you read the article.
Yeah, what were you referring to? It escapes
As
me.
you know, there's a whole bunch of wonderful movies, all of which are...
Actually, there's something on the History Channel regarding that.
They're
It was
wonderful.
just on
Well,
the History
yes.
Channel.
Anyhow, you asked a
And I
question.
missed it. But what is that? What
I'm
is
trying to
that,
get the-
it's like a sacred
I'm
thing?
struggling.
Maybe we want to
buried
take
underneath
this
the train
offline
station?
because
Yeah,
we're
you
kind of
want to
off,
talk about
we're
this
off,
after? I mean, I'm happy to discuss it publicly.
we're
It was
No,
on the
'cause
front page of the Tribune.
there's people saying that that's actually a TIF, that's a TIF fund.
we're
that,
overtime, guys.
It's colorful, and I'm happy to discuss it with you, but
Thank you for your
Alright,
comments.
the
Am I
mayor's
4
right.
minutes
It's
up
probably
yet?
not
Yes.
those.
This isn't the forum. Are there any other questions? Seeing as there are none, motion to adjourn would be in
So
order.
moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you all.